Hello everyone, welcome back to UWGB Esports. I'm Paul, I'm here with my co-caster Danny. We are covering UWGB Varsity versus JV Overwatch. Very interesting game to have this week.
Bit of a grudge match.
Yeah, a little bit. There's been trends with our JV and varsity teams, especially in WC in particular, so it's interesting how this goes. As you can see, we got both teams in person today, so it's like a little mini LAN for you all today, so that's always fun. Got anything?
Not really. It looks like we're starting our game off, so we should see what we got going on.
Okay.
Oh,
it looks like we're... Okay, well, it looks like we're pausing the game. Instead, we have what looks like interesting adverts we have here made by our varsity and JV teams, which...
Same format, but one of them has more oomph, I think, personally.
Would that be JV?
That would be JV.
Yeah, I do appreciate the curse must continue on the bottom of JV there. Again, bit of a grudge match.
It is a lot more work too because they did also Photoshop that. I took that picture in the background months ago, and I sent it to them to help with that.
The dark background really.
Varsity does have checkmate mogging though. and that is very influential in the decision process making.
Yes.
That makes me really want to watch this stream. So.
Is that a little Junkrat in the corner?
It is.
Okay, that's lovely.
And they are propaganda. The curse must continue. The curse of JV beating varsity.
Yes.
The past 2 semesters they've played. Not only in Overwatch, it's happened in Valorant last semester. It happened in Smash 2. I think that's it for varsity beating, or JV beating varsity.
It happened for Smash 2?
Yep, it did happen for Smash 2.
I missed that one. Of course it did.
We had a flex off that you guys should have seen at the start of the stream. I personally think the lighting did not do any favors to the varsity team. It was very pale on that side. However, I don't know. Who did you think won?
I think I had to go JV.
JV?
Yeah.
It's not looking good for varsity so far. That's already 2-0.
JV is winning the hearts and minds here. We'll see how they actually do in the game. They're 100% winning hearts and minds so far. All right, looks like we're in. First map, Lijiang. Let's see what we got for comps here. Pretty standard comp coming out from varsity here, running their Zoro on Queen. Very aggressive comp with the being able to teleport in with the sim. They're going to teleport immediately on point, taking that immediate pressure. It looks like we're both TPing onto point. Green Bay is taking a bit more control of the actual objective, while Varsity's taking a bit more control of the objective, while JV is continuing to play outside. This is going to be very confusing to cast. I'm starting to realize. Looks like we're running a Domina here. I haven't seen that much Domina play so far, but it looks like it's going to work. They got first pick out on Zora here. Mammoth gets that first pick, goes in, tries to get off that pressure, but Zora, oh god, we got Zora and Zoro too. Oh dear lord.
At least they're on the same team.
Yeah, that would, yeah. Zora's taking pretty good control of that first choke there, just kind of pushing pressure, and if they ever try to go in, just immediately hitting them with the Carnage, just to immediately poke out some damage there. Looks like JV's having some struggle getting some momentum out of the first pick. They lose 2, the tank going down, they lose 3 there, and then Varsity takes full control over that first point.
JV's taking some time off of point to make sure they're not staggering in too soon.
I've got a present for you.
Looks like we're having some switches coming out, switching off Sim for the Reaper, just to get some extra damage in. Reaper against Junker Queen can be very frustrating for Junker Queen simply because she doesn't have that much damage mitigation, so if you can just pump all the shotgun shells into Junker Queen, she can't really do as much as you could with a Sim, just because she's a smaller target, making Sim tracking a little more difficult. So the Reaper switch here is good. They looks like they're losing 2 on the side of JV with Plumrock and Snarky Goblin falling up to Checkmate's Barrage, and then they're just immediately pushing into spawn off that, but Varsity pushing into spawn just to kind of press that advantage.
Yeah, so far this game has been pretty one-sided. It's harder for them to push up at this point when they're being restricted so much by the varsity team, but there's still time in the round for them to make some momentum.
Yeah, one of the key strengths of Varsity's comp right now is they can control so many angles. They have Kiri, can tape you to everyone. They have Checkmate, who can playing Pharah, who just fly in the air, hold so many weird angles, and then they have Junker Queen, who can pretty much hold any choke for as long as she wants, as long as they don't play anything with that much damage output.
Kill from Skrabungus.
Yeah, immediately good pick on Zora there, opens up the point for him. There are 2 ults coming up, both support ults. We got the I forget what they're called, the Mizuki and Jetpack Cat ults coming out, getting some good picks off of that. But it does look like Varsity is turning it around, because they did pick up 3 there, picking up 5. Pretty good ult from Skrabungus there, but it's not enough to secure the point.
JV had a lot of momentum for a moment going on. That could have been a big retake for them, but something went wrong there.
Yeah, showing potential there.
It just didn't happen.
There was a lot of potential in that last push there. I'm wondering if they can keep that potential going. Honestly, we got a Doomfist coming out from Zora on this point. Can't say I'm particularly surprised. I know he really likes Doomfist on this particular point of Lijiang, just because there's so many edges you can punch people off of, so many walls you can punch them into, and then it just gives you really good momentum around the map. And then we have Mammoth switching to Orisa, which kind of unfortunate that Zora's picking Doomfist now, because Orisa is really good at shutting that down, because she can fortify, you can't punch her out, she can throw the spear, so you can't interrupt your block. Just very frustrating target for Doomfist to deal with.
We do also still have a Jetpack Cat in play, and I don't know how that's going to go with the Doomfist punching people off. The Jetpack Cat can just grab them back on or not, but I think that could be an interesting thing to see.
Yes. Okay, we're taking it pretty slow from JV here, and then Varsity, of course, immediately took point of with this Ametryo. We got sorry. Zoro immediately punching 2 off the map here. Checkmate going in, putting pressure on Spawn, getting rooted, but doesn't matter. Oh, he does die to the Jetpack Cat, but he does get 2 on the way out.
Oh, but Jetpack Cat also goes down, and they're pushed back towards Spawn again.
Okay. Looks like, once again, Varsity capped the point. Again, they just have a lot of really strong choices here just to carry as many angles as possible. They're playing a lot around the map geometry. They have Boop from Pharah. They have the punch from Doomfist. There's a lot of good ways to play around the map geometry here. It looks like Varsity's going, JV's going towards the right here. Just a lot harder for Doomfist to punch them off the map because there's no real way for him to do that. So they're just kind of playing around again the map geometry, trying to make it harder for them to get those boops. Playing slow again. I think we're just looking for a pick here. Mammoth does get very low, but but does get healed out. Again, we're playing. Oh, Doomfist coming in, punching him immediately into the wall, just keeping that pressure up, completely punishing them for playing slow here. Alt's in the room, does good damage, gets 1, gets 2, goes back in, gets Mammoth.
Third. And Jetpack Cat is low, going down soon maybe.
What we're seeing, yeah. I think what we're seeing here is just both teams have fundamentally different philosophies of playing the game. JV seems like to play it really slow, looking for picks before they go in. Meanwhile, Varsity knows that and is just deciding we're just going to rush at them. We don't get them time to prepare, don't get them time to set up, don't get them time to look for picks. We're just going to go in because if it doesn't work, we still have plenty of momentum going forward, and if it does work, then we just win. They're really playing that around the wrist there and knowing that sometimes you just do have to take risks to...
And it seems to be working for them.
Yeah, well, Checkmate does fall there to the Jetpack Cat once again.
Good map for the Cat.
Yeah, good map for the Cat. Honestly, Pharah playing in the Jetpack Cat sounds kind of miserable for Pharah just because it's such a hard target to hit.
Oh,
and you're not...
one.
Doomfist gets taken off of the map here. You don't see that very often. Is traded out as Peaches picks up the Kaiju there. Okay, looks like JV managed to take control of the point. Pharah picks up 2, but ends up falling. But with those 2 down, the rest of Varsity here can probably looks like they're going to come in and just clean up. Yep.
They're capping point again, but JV still got it up to 16%, which is a good bit of momentum for them to use if they can do one final big push here.
And they do have 3 ults coming up, almost 4. They do lose Flamakarili on that, it looks like they lose point here. Again, they had some good momentum at the end of that I think they can carry forward to the next couple games here.
And I'm thinking we're going to see them start adapting more and more to that dive comp that Varsity's got going on. Maybe something a little more aggressive or counter-aggressive even that can hold their own instead of having to fall back.
Yeah, because we're seeing that with the Arissa pick there. That's very good for playing anti-dive just because she has a lot of tools to... It's very hard to dive in Arissa, so she has a lot of tools for that. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Reaper come out again because he's a very good anti-dive pick. Because again, if you get dove by a tank, you can just... Their entire hitbox is your spread, so you can just pump damage into them, and a lot of dive tanks are not great in the Reaper. Think Winston. So they have a lot of...
Yeah. You have a strong backing up and can go a lot further.
Yeah, so there's a lot of options here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Snarky Goblin back on the Lucio, just to give a little more... I mean, it would lower their healing output, especially with Jetpack Cat, but it would give them a lot more ways to just engage instead of playing more passive like they have been.
I am wondering how long they're going to keep that Jetpack going, though, because especially on a map like that, I can see that's a valid pick. They got a lot of picks off that Cat, but on a different map where there's not maybe as much edges or maybe as many opportunities to swing someone off.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what map they pick, because it is JV's map pick right now. So I'm interested to see if they're going to pick a very Jetpack Cat-focused map, or if that's what they're playing around, or if they're going to try and play something that's a little more harder to play dive on, which I don't even know what maps they would do for that. Dive's pretty good on pretty much everything. That's why everyone plays it. So it'd be interesting to see what they pick here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting for character-wise rather than map choice. Is the more destitute, like detrimental counter here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Sorry. I reset. It's been a minute since I've casted, so I gotta warm back up here. Looks like we're going back. Alright.
Varsity member is on their phone having talk time right now here.
That is very...
Gotta JV doing the same thing.
You know, it's
phone is down on JV's side.
Okay, they're locking in. You'd love to see that.
I do believe Varsity is subbing out a player for this game.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh. Looks like we're having some thoughts over here for varsity.
It's not getting too heated yet, but there's a lot of interaction between the teams usually during these matches.
Yeah. Looks like we're waiting to see who they're subbing out here. I'm trying to think of what JV could do beyond just. Okay. Looks like we're swapping out the tank on the side of JV. They're swapping in Anti for Mammoth. So I think they're looking to play something more aggressive here. Because I know Mammoth likes to play a lot of that counter dive, very poke focused character.
And I think that on varsity side we also have Zora subbing out, and we have Peaches coming in. Oh, no, we have Peaches is going out, Kudo's coming in.
Okay. Trying to think what hero pools here. Trying to remember. But yeah, at least for Anti and Mammoth, again, they maybe go. I don't quite know what Anti plays. I know Mammoth plays a lot of very slow poke-like characters, a lot of Orisa, a lot of seems to be Domina here. So looking maybe a little more aggressive from Anti instead of that anti-dive. They know they're going to try and match Varsity's aggression.
I'm interested to see how they're going to do that, because towards the end there, they were holding their own a little bit stronger, and you could definitely see them adapting to that different play style than what they were expecting. I knew coming into this, I was told some of the insider secrets from Varsity, that they were going to try to play a very dive-heavy comp this game, and I was very interested to see that, because they don't usually run one of those.
Yeah.
So, interesting strategy to switch it up on the day where they're trying to break that curse of 2-0 even at this point.
Yeah, but we'll, with the way it's looking, maybe the curse will break this time. Who knows? Or maybe me saying that just made it worse. You never really know. It wouldn't be the first time I've jinxed the game. I did cast our finals for PCL last semester, and I did say, looks like Varsity's sweeping against SHSU, and then they went 2-3. So maybe I just shouldn't say things like that. It tends to not go well for me.
I think it's just a curse of Green Bay around here. If we say anything, it happens. I know this weekend we had some troubleshooting errors after people said some things.
Yeah, that's
we're all good now. Everything's great. Nope. That's when stuff starts happening.
School is just cursed. We'll see. We'll see.
All I know is I think Green Bay's going to win today.
Green Bay will, in fact, win today. I'd be amazed if they didn't. All the PCs just shut down. That's the only way Green Bay loses.
Could end in a draw.
Could end in a draw. Can it end in a draw?
I don't know.
It's best of 5. If anyone could do it, it's our...
Other teams are eligible to finish playing, and it's currently tied. Or would they have to reschedule?
I think they had to reschedule. If any teams could do it, I think it's our Overwatch teams.
They could find a way to do it.
They would find a way to do it because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like we're going to Rialto here. So they are playing a lot around that. Wouldn't expect them to play a lot about the jetpack hat again because Rialto's a very, especially first and second point Rialto, a lot of really good places. Actually, pretty much all of Rialto except for the end. A lot of really good places to pick people up and throw them off the map. However, this is also going to be problematic for JV because, again, they can't just play the Doomfist again. Okay, and looks like JV also banned Ash here. Looks like they're worried about a lot of poke from the side of Varsity, which, again, Rialto makes a lot of sense. It's a very poke-heavy map, so you would want to ban Ash. And I know... it looks like Varsity banned Jetpack Cat.
That was huge.
It looks like they were seeing it coming, too, with that Rialto pick.
JV seems to be happy with that ban.
Okay. Maybe they're playing some 4D chess here, and they were trying to bait out a ban here.
Strong mental game going on in there. We've got some screaming across the computers.
This is good. This
looks like Dylan is yawning.
This is why LANs are fun. You get a lot of this interaction between the two teams that you don't normally get. All right,
very serene spot to start the game.
I'm really interested to see now what JV's going to pick. What they seemed excited about the jetpack ban.
There wasn't any Ash gameplay in the first game, was there?
No, but I think both Zora and Checkmate play pretty decent Ash, so I think they're just worried about poke on this map because Rialto's a very good map for Ash.
It's an interesting decision because I'm wondering, are they still running a dive comp?
Doesn't look like Green Bay. Oh, I'm sorry. Like Varsity, this is really just gonna get me. It doesn't look like Varsity's running more of a poke here, and then JV's looking like they're running a more aggressive comp with a Reinhardt.
And a Junkrat. I love to see.
Gotta love the Junkrat. And then again,
No, no more Junkrat.
No more Junkrat. Oh, no fun.
Is that a Hanzo?
I got a Hanzo and then I forget his name. Emery? Yeah. No, that's Emery. Yeah. Guys, how do you? That's good. You're getting good, strong mental game going on the chat here. Oh, looks like we are playing a lot of dive here with, like I said, Anti coming out to play more aggressive comp, playing dive. I think a pseudo dive because they're playing very. The rest of the comp is very poke heavy, but I think they're just looking to have Anti disrupt the front line. They know if they match the tanks matching the aggression, then the rest of the team might be able to follow up and get some picks off of that. Anti is playing very safe here. He's jumping in, jumping on the back line, jumping onto the Sigma, blocking him off from healing, just trying to take that pressure on the tank. He's gonna fall. Surungus does fall to.
They had a pretty strong start with that push there.
Yeah, they had a pretty strong start. I think they can take the. Oh, they got 2 there. It might be able to kind of take it back, but.
Regroup for a second. Stop the staggering.
Yeah, they're just pulling back. Good call. Looks like we're having Anti's coming back out of spawn, just waiting again. To see, I think they might be waiting for a pick again, or just a good angle on a jump. Anti is jumping in back onto the Sigma, just trying to push him off that choke point so we can't poke at the rest of the team. Let him push up a little bit and set up.
Varsity had to back off a little bit, give them more space to push that payload.
Yeah, see, this is the joy of a pseudo dive comp, where you're playing kind of a mix of poke and dive, is that if you have if the other team is running poke, you can dive their tank, dive whatever thing they're using to hold a choke, and then be able to set up your angles.
Varsity did get control of the payload again, though.
Yep, did pick up. Snarky is jumping off the map, knows the fight's lost, doesn't want to stagger. Sometimes you just got to do that.
Strategic death.
Strategic death. Looks like we're switching on to Reaper here. I think we're just going to try and put more pressure onto the Sigma, try and get him off of that choke.
Visceral grunt from outside the studio.
One thing I am curious about is that we don't, on JV side, we don't really have anything to do with Checkmate on the far, who's been a problem for what seems to be both maps so far. So I wonder what they have to do with that. I mean, they have Snarky Goblin, but he can't do everything. Looks like we're playing it pretty slow. Anti's taking a lot of damage here, having to jump back. Lamp comes out from Snarky Goblin, just trying to keep Anti alive. And it looks like the divers are getting dove here. They're walking into their spawn. Zora does ult there, doesn't pick up any, but again, just keeps the pressure on, so they keep them in spawn for longer, just trying to draw the clock. Zora does almost fall here, takes a lot of damage, but they just can't quite get it. Checkmate does also pick up a kill on Kaiju there. Looks like we're switching off from Reaper to Bastion, we're really trying to just bully this Sigma. And so this is, the Bastion here deals with 2 problems they seem to be having. Checkmate does die to the Bastion.
Zora's down too.
Yeah, so again, pretty even. No, actually, no, they lost 4. But the Bastion seems to be dealing with 2 of the problems they seem to be having. A, they want to push the Sigma back, and B, Checkmate flying around just because Bastion can deal with both those pretty well by melting the shield and just being an anti-air gun.
JV's going to have a bit of a lead here because of that respawn time. So they can get more momentum and start that push again, hopefully come back for some more fights.
Yeah. The Reinhardt switch too, again, really just looking to just bully that the Sigma by being able to just walk up, hit him through his shield, hit him through his kinetic grasp, just trying to deny his damage mitigation. A lot of ults coming out here. JV does come out ahead in the trade. They do take control of the payload. They're pushing it up. Green Bay stuck with 2 on point. Varsity stuck with 2 on point. It's going to happen a lot this game. I can feel it. Again, really good adaptations from JV here, switching to very anti-Sigma comp, just to keep, because if you can take the tank out of the game, they can't really do anything.
And the supports there in that last fight were putting in a lot of work with those saves. I kept seeing 2 saves, 2 saves, 2 saves every near death for that JV side.
Having the lamp and just everything about Baptiste's kit is pretty good for those last minute saves, and same with Musicby with ults. Just being able to block all the incoming damage and heal within that circle, really good for those lads. Like I think we saw Grab come out. No, we didn't see Grab come out. I'm trying to keep track of all this. If seeing Grab come out now, picks up 2. Might pick up a kill here. Picks up 1 on Anti. Walks in, face tanking the Bastion, but he's still gonna get him. Zora comes out, picks up 3. Again. Beautiful ults from Varsity there. But again, we saw some really good adaptation from JV. I'm hoping they can keep that up for the second half.
Their supports really know how to stay in the back and not push too far and overextend, and I like to see that a lot with the support side. I know sometimes we can get a little aggressive as a support player myself. They have really good restraint, and that kept them going for a lot of those fights there. And we also saw a lot of nice one picks that got the momentum going.
Really interesting what they pull out in the second half here, because if they might be switching back to that poke that we saw on last map, just because Rialto is a very strong poke map for JP on defense. Looks like Sabathun seems to be getting passionate about something here.
Oh?
Oh.
Varsity is having a very intense argument, it looks like. Or maybe not an argument, maybe it's just a Jacob moment, but
It is Jacob.
Dylan was giving an intense talking to him.
It is Jacob and Dylan that they do that on occasion. I do remember.
And maybe that's what makes their team special.
Maybe it is. Varsity picking out a very strong dive comp here. Zora's back on that on his Hammond, very terrifying Hammond we saw a lot last season.
Oh, we're trying to match the SIG on the JV side.
Again, we're playing a very poke-heavy comp on. Oh, we got a pause coming out. It appears that maybe that's what they seem to be arguing about. Sabathun seems to have disconnected from the game.
I can't read the chat from here. What
Seems
are the people saying?
seems to be arguing more about. Okay, it seems to be we seem to have been arguing with the computer more than our teammates with that one. I wonder what seems to have broken there. With Overwatch, it could be a lot of things.
JV's got some words going on over there. We've got Zach speaking out. Some flexing happening, it looks like.
We're trying to have
We're
another
going to have a JV flex off now.
JV flex off, JV won the first flex off, and you just need to do a tournament bracket now. Who's the best flexer in JV now?
Zach's saying to run it back, it looks like.
Again, we did see a poke comp coming out from JV there, which with Varsity's dive was going to be interesting. But they did see that before the DC, so maybe they had time to think about that. But they don't have really time to adjust before the game starts. Oh,
okay,
we're back in. Yeah, again, very, very strong dive from Varsity here, especially with now checkmate on the Tracer. They just have a lot of ways to get behind the team and kind of disrupt their positioning, which is very bad for a poke comp.
Oh, we're already back a little bit.
They just immediately keeping that pressure up. Looks like Hydro almost fell there, gets healed. Beautiful support work once again coming up from Scorbungus and
Zoro's being insanely aggressive on the ball.
As per usual. Sometimes the things he gets out of, I genuinely don't understand how. But again, Anti's keeping pretty good pressure on the card, but Zora's just on both supports, and these supports have really been, as is their job, the backline of this whole comp. So having both of them fall to that dive is it's really going to make it difficult for JV to keep up pressure, and it does look like they do all fall there.
One of the worst things to play against in this game, I would say, are good ball players.
Yes, that is very true, because they also never seem to die.
Yeah, they know, especially when they know to swing back to their supports.
And then they're just keeping the pressure up, keeping them in spawn, trying to deny any amount of touch on the point. The JV does manage to get through, but they are taking a lot of damage here. The Lamp's not able to save them, and they're all falling to the Vendetta there.
One more on point still.
One more. Zora pulling
like
out
that,
the ult at
over.
the last minute. Again, JV did show some good adaptation on that first half. I think they gamble with the poke comp, and they're playing cope into a very strong dive, and that's just that's very rarely works. Just because, again, a lot of dive is just disruption, and the poke relies on being able to hold angles. So not much you can really do about that. Yeah. So, really, trying to think. The jetpack, I think the jetpack cat would have been helpful there.
I don't know if it would have changed much.
It would have been funny.
It would have been funny, but there weren't many pulls that could have been made.
Yeah. Well, they kept them on the bridge for a little bit. But
This is true.
yeah.
I also think maybe after the first game, I would have went with a ban more towards the. I know it was a poke comp map and more of a poke thing they were expecting, but after that first game, I would have maybe gone with a Doom or ball
Yeah,
even.
ban that dive out. Because a lot of the strength of Varsity's dive does come from Zora on Ball, on Doomfist, on Winston. So banning any of those would have limited their
Would have
options.
been a safer bet.
Yeah. Looks like we're subbing out Pluto for, I imagine.
Over curious, I would assume.
Yeah. So that's
we're a lot of roster changes tonight. We're switching things up.
Which again, with the curse being in play, but it doesn't seem to be in play that much tonight.
But is Varsity's overconfidence going to be an issue?
See, now this is the question, because that I imagine is part of the root cause of a lot of the curse. Is you're the varsity team going against JV. It is kind of hard to not have that in your mind as you're playing. But we will see what happens.
It's the ultimate ego death.
I remember.
It happened to me. It happens to everyone.
It happened to me too. It's a great experience. I don't play on teams anymore. But, you know, things happen. I do wonder if we are... it does look like we are swapping off Ante back to Astro Mammoth. They're looking to play a little less dive and a little more on that poke. Because it looks like they were traditional... Okay, we're playing on Numbani. So it looks like we are looking to play a bit more of that poke. Because Numbani is a very good poke map, which is a lot of good high grounds, a lot of good weird, like, off angles. The issue is it's also pretty good for dive if you play it right. Because there's a lot of good heights and a lot of good off angles.
And this was another JV map choice, wasn't it?
Yes. So, it looks like they're banning the Pharah, which makes sense. Checkmate on that Pharah has been a problem the last two maps. So that'd be... Okay, looks like we're having Checkmate go on tank and then Zoro playing DPS now. So it looks like we're probably going to be playing out a Genji. I'm willing to bet money on that. Zoro does love his Genji. Okay, and then we're banning Orisa, trying to ban out the...
Probably another Doom moment.
Yes, or we're also just banning out Astro Mammoth, because I know Mammoth plays a lot of Orisa, so we're just kind of target banning their tank, which, fair enough, can't really do...
Smart strategy.
Because they probably want, if they were going to ban a support, probably want to ban Jetpack Cat again, and you can't ban a DPS, so...
And pick bans are a lot harder when you're playing against your own JV team or varsity team, because you know what they usually play. You've played with these people before.
Yeah.
Your experience. So the pick bans can be a little tricky because what if they're trying to do something different than usual?
See, what I think the WEC rulebook has an interesting thing where you can switch out subs after bans come through, which is an interesting decision to make because now when they had Checkmate get target pick banned, they just swapped in Zoro, which is an interesting little part about the WC rulebook that I have thoughts on, because you can do stuff like this where it's like, oh, the pick ban's just useless now because we can just move around. It does reward it does reward being versatile, but at a certain point, it's a very interesting addition to a lot of the pre-game thought process.
Because I know now Checkmate's on an off roll, but he's played tank before for varsity. It's nothing new for him, but he's just gonna have to adapt to that change for this.
Looks like we're playing. Let's see there. All right, we have Checkmate on the Zarya here. That adds up. He likes playing a good brawl. I know he's a big Ramatra player back when I played with him, so it makes sense that he's playing more brawl here. Zoro is coming out on the Genji. Gonna make perfect sense. Again, we're playing a very, like I was thinking, we're playing a very poke-heavy comp on JV side with Mammoth on that Sigma now. So it looks like we're playing poke into brawl here, which is advantageous for JV, just because, well, actually, we're playing a weird comp on varsity. So brawly dive with Genji and Onron being able to get in and get out really fast without taking all that much damage and having wasted and mitigated. So looks like we're playing pretty close. We're playing pretty aggressive for JV here. We're not even bothering with the main choke, just walking through this side door. Whole team's coming in. We're just trying to put pressure through that. We are backing up. Checkmate does get 3. Looks like he's at 100% charge, just to be able to walk at the team. Picking Sigma blind into a Zarya is a very unfortunate for Astro Mammoth there, because Zarya can just kind of shoot through a lot of your damage mitigation tools, like shoot right through kinetic grass, which is a very important part of Sigma's whole sustained cooldown cycle. All right, we're walking up slow here, just trying to check all the angles. We're just taking. we seem to be crouch walking to points so they can't hear them. Honestly,
and it works.
It's not a bad play if it works. The issue is someone did decide to check, and now they're just walking in. But they did get up. It looks like they did chunk out a lot of. They get Puck Bun, Overcurious, immediately falling in the fight. No more immortality. Sigma's alone on point.
Too.
Yeah, Zora's very low. Does have Blade if you can hit that. They might be able to turn this around,
nope.
but a dry Blade and they are hitting Dragon Blade on Zoro. Just trying to pick up any amount of momentum to make up for the early losses. Does pick up one onto Snarky. Astroman's coming down to 66 HP. Does live.
Checkmate's
looks like
down though.
we do trade out both tanks, and it looks.
Scorbungus is the only one alive, and he's also picked off here.
That was a pretty good fight for JV though. They got They got some good picks there. Zoro just ulting on the back and picking out their Baptiste was just enough for Varsity to be able to turn it around, I think. We are walking into JV is walking into a much stronger alt econ on the side of Green Bay, with them having Grav being able to just basically stop their entire push whenever they want.
We did get Siggled on JV's side, though. That could be pretty big to a push.
That could be pretty big. Looks like we're going to ult early, picking up one on the back. We are going to pick up... Oh, Suzu coming out, saves the spot. Zoro just on their back line, picking up two. Finally does fall there, but does pick up two in the process. So that's a 2-for-1 trade, not ideal for...
Once again, Scorbungus is sticking it out on the JV side.
But it is unfortunately not enough to bring it through. And then JV is walking into both support ults now for Varsity, and almost both DPS ults. So it's going to be a very difficult push. Looks like we are thinking about a switch on tank maybe, which, considering Sigma into this comp, not a terrible idea. I do wonder what they would consider switching to. No, we are coming out on the Sigma. Alright, we're just taking slow, waiting for picks. We're going to go straight through the left door again. Zoro is up front, does get bubbled, gets out. Izuku coming out from Sabathun, making it very hard to push through this choke just because they're standing in all the heals, can't even take damage, just stalling out the push there. They do still have Kasuni Rush for Peaches and Onron and Genji ults on Varsity side, so it's going to be a very difficult point to push. Zoro does Dragon Blade, picks up one, going after more, can't find them. They do manage to get out with 10 seconds on the clock. I do not believe they have time to touch, unless they do pull out unless the Tracer can get there within 5 seconds, but no. Do not have time to touch. They do pick up Zoro though.
Very strong hold from Varsity.
Yeah, very strong. I mean, JV had some pretty good momentum for a bit there. It's not enough. When they're just, I think Varsity's playing around their alt econ very well, just waiting for them to fully engage, then Dragon Blading, picking up the supports, and then waiting till they're in the fight, because then they can't back out and they all fall. Again, very, very considered alt usage there.
Oh, we saw a 6-7 just get hit from one of the players sitting out on the Varsity side.
That does make sense. All right. Big fans of 6-7, I've heard they are.
I think we all are today. Their codes for their reservation was 1617.
Oh.
I think almost every single one of them made a reaction to that.
Of course they did. That just makes sense.
Poor K-Bot Kenneth.
Okay,
interesting Winston choice from Checkmate.
I don't think I've seen him play that much dive before, but I also haven't really watched him play that much tank recently, so who knows, maybe he's been practicing and we just haven't looked.
Also a very different comp this map from JV.
This could actually be a problem for Varsity here, because they're playing very brawl with the... So a lot of Winston's utility here is going to be kind of dampened by the fact that whenever he goes in, he can simply be just jumped on by the entire team, and it's made very difficult to get out because you have Pin for Reinhardt, and immediately picks up, as I just said, immediately picks up a kill onto Checkmate. Very, very difficult to dive into this team comp.
In that Lifeweaver just might be able to match the Kyrian heals compared to what we've been running. Lifeweaver has a very strong heal pool. And
Lifeweaver also very good at just getting out at any dive. If you can hit the movement correctly. So again, they knew about the dive this time and are 100% playing around it. Looks like we have Varsity taking it a bit slow now. Zoro does fall, gets picked up by the Reinhardt on high ground. Checkmate looking for a dive, can't find it. Squirmogus dropping down to the rest of the team. He knows that if Checkmate jumps in there, just immediately gets hit with a hammer 5 million times and dies.
Trying our best not to stagger on the varsity side. They backed out, wait for the rest of their teammates so they can hit again harder.
Looks we are playing, switching here to D.Va. Still playing kind of around that dive, but with a lot more options than Winston for sustain and a little bit of poke if needed. D.Va's a very strange tank in terms of what her role is. We have Zorba going around the back, looking to dive the back line here. Doesn't get much damage out, but does seem to bait out. I believe I did see the flashbang come up from Kaiju there.
Varsity with a lot of flank attempts right now. They're trying to pick people off one by one, but it doesn't seem to be working.
They're trying to split up the block that JV is standing
Zoro with
in.
the Plum Rock kill.
Does pick up one, just standing a little bit too far from the team. Checkmate going in very little low on that engage there, but looks like
Varsity is down a support.
Yes, but they did trade that out with Scribungus. They did Mammoth picking up one on Over Curious, keeping them ahead in team-wise. Oh, High Noon coming out from Kaiju does pick up Zoru. So very strong adaptation from JV here.
We've got 2 ults on the JV side, but we've got about 4 ults getting ready to come in on the varsity side. That could be big in a push.
Yes. This comp that JV's running is very well designed to deal with a dive.
It feels very ragtag from the look of it, but it's very successful in what it's meant to do for them.
Because they have such strong healing output that if they get dove, they don't die. And if they land in a block, there's nothing they can really do. It looks like we are picking more of a brawl into the brawl
We had
here.
another switch for the varsity tank.
Picking that Ramacho, just trying to brawl out the fights a little more than trying to look for picks. Just this thinking, we can just take the fight and just try and skill diff that rather than playing around angles and positioning, just trying to win on raw mechanics alone at this point. The Life Weaver tree blocking the escape route there. Very good tree there, blocking up that choke. Zoro does pick up 2. Dragon Blade picking up 2 kills in 2026. Rare moment, but you love to see it. And Varsity does win that map. JV was pretty strong there for that second half of that.
They had a really tough hold for a second. I wasn't sure if the varsity team would be able to get around that.
Yeah, that was very good adaptation. Basically perfectly countering their dive comp. It's just JV, the varsity decided we're just playing brawl now, and then walked forward. But yeah, no. Very, very good game from JV there. I do know the rank disparity between JV and varsity this year for Overwatch is a little more pronounced than it was last year, which
helps contribute to it.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's good. We're getting them. It's a lot easier to improve at this game when you're in a competitive team. I've found, so it's good for a lot of those JV players to have that experience. So.
But realistically speaking, JV won the poster. JV won the flex off.
Yeah.
Varsity won the Overwatch game, but 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
So who really won?
I'm thinking JV. They won the hearts and minds.
I don't think the curse has been broken yet. I think we've got to wait and see what'll happen next time they play each other, because it'll happen again. It always will.
Yeah, look out for LAN. That's always where it tends to go wrong. So we'll see that we'll be able to mark the improvement from here to LAN for JV.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the rest of our team's seasons.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good night.